Hello guys, welcome back. My name is Nathan and today I'm going to be discussing the race between Shane Wright, Brad Lambert, and Matthew Savoie, the three-headed monster of the 2022 NHL Draft. Now the NHL entry draft of 2022 is looking absolutely stupendous, with Shane Wright, Brad Lambert, and Matthew Savoie, all three of which could be potential first overall picks in any other draft, are in one draft in the top three. So, who do I think is the best player out of three in 2020, and how would I rank them number 1, number 2, and number 3? Watch till the end for all my prospect analysis and rankings, and of course hit that subscribe button if you're new. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys and come out and say that all three of these guys are potential franchise players. Oh wait, I am. Because the top three in this draft is really that good. We have Shane Wright alone, who put up better rookie numbers in the OHL than Connor freaking McDavid. And Connor McDavid is actually pretty good at hockey. I'm not sure if you know that. Then going on to Brad Lambert, who got 2 points in 4 Liiga games as a 16-year-old. Matthew Savoie isn't quite as impressive, but still, when you factor in the skill and the potential he has on the ice, that's a guy that I think will have a great rebound here in the WHL and will prove his skills for sure. Just the top three alone in this draft is absolutely amazing. And there are some great other guys that I think are seriously good, but the top three-headed monster is what is going to be talked about, because all three of these guys I think are absolutely amazing prospects that if they continue to improve leading up to draft day, those will be three guys that honestly you'll want to tank for. Now, to get the elephant out of the room, Shane Wright. That's all I'm going to say. In his rookie OHL season, again, a better point per game than Connor McDavid when it was all said and done. Played 58 games for the Kingston Frontenacs, getting 39 goals, 27 assists for 66 points. In the World Hockey Challenge also in that year, got 7 points in 5 games played. Shane Wright is the real deal. And even if he doesn't improve too much after this year, that's a guy that I could still see, even if he was the same player today, next year getting upwards of 80, 90 points, because you have Zayd Wisdom and you got Martin Chromiak on that line as well. That's just a player that I think is going to dominate. And again, his draft year isn't for 2 more years, so he has next year and then his draft year. In all honesty, I could see him getting upwards of 100 points next season, and then potentially getting like 120 the next season after. It'll have to wait and see if he'll actually be better than Connor McDavid's numbers, but he's already done it so far, so there's nothing stopping him at this point. And it really isn't just the numbers when it comes to Shane Wright, it's the dominant play that he exudes from himself as a 16-year-old in the OHL. Definitely making that exceptional status very worthwhile for the Kingston Frontenacs. That's a player that stepped into the OHL day one and was terrific. It took him some time to really get dominant, but when he was on his game, man, he was one of the best players, period, in the OHL. And it will take some time, in my opinion, for him to really become the best player in the OHL. It might not happen next season if there's a guy like Quinton Byfield still staying there, but he is going to be a force to be reckoned with offensively. And at D, he's not all too bad either. There is some stuff that he has to learn for sure, but he can play a very solid two-way game. That's a player, though, that the offensive skills just make itself absolutely evident, and in terms of escaping defenses, creating offense, and just keeping the puck going, he is the best player in the draft in my opinion, and if I draft him right now, he would go number 1. Now, it's very hard to even be close to what Shane Wright has done, but Brad Lambert to me is the second option. To me, the second best prospect in the 2022 draft right now. Now, dating back to last season, he was able to play 17 games in the Junior ASM Liiga, the U20 League in Finland, got 17 games played and 11 points, played 10 playoff games as well, then came into this season with 42 games played in the Junior A, getting 18 goals, 20 assists for 38 points, again, in a U20 league as a 16-year-old. Then he was able to play 4 Liiga games with HIFK, getting 2 assists for 2 points. And just playing a game in Liiga as a 16-year-old is already super insane, but to play 4 games, get 2 assists for 2 points, that's just what Brad Lambert does. He's just that good at hockey. Now, to truly put in perspective how good Brad Lambert was at such a good age in the Junior ASM Liiga, he ended up finishing with the 21st best point per game across that entire league with a 0.90. Very good stats for any player. But again, Brad Lambert is 16, doesn't turn 17 until December, and already in a great U20 league with some great competition, I think, especially this year. He rose the occasion, being just gifted offensively. And I think the defense also can be very strong with Brad Lambert. I think Finland has turned out some pretty great defensive players over the years. You got Alexander Barkov, and with this year, you got Anton Lundell. So I think Brad Lambert definitely follows in those footsteps a little bit, but the offense is still his bread and butter, and so far, he's been making a lot of toast with that butter. That was a terrible joke. Please forget that. Now, the possible progression when it comes to Brad Lambert will be super interesting, because again, he's already played 4 Liiga games, so I could assume that he might perform maybe a full-time role in the Liiga next season, which would be a huge step up, but I think he will succeed in that role. I think he'll probably get upwards of 5-10 points possibly. Then the next season in his draft year, I could see him getting more points than a guy like Capo Kakko, really showing his offensive skills that are totally apparent. And honestly, if Shane Wright wasn't a thing, I would run up to the podium to draft him first overall. That's how good Brad Lambert can be and is already at age 16. Now, I know I've been propping up the other 2 guys quite a bit in this video, but the third still provides a lot of skill and deserves a lot of praise, that being Matthew Savoie. Now, Matthew Savoie was going to be an exceptional status WHL player until there was concerns that maybe he would go to the NCAA, but he stuck in junior and played with the Winnipeg Ice in his first year. He played 22 WHL games, getting 7 assists for 7 points, and in the World Hockey Challenge, got 6 points in 6 games played. And honestly, with the games I did see from Matthew Savoie, he didn't play too much, but with the minutes he did play, I wasn't all too impressed. But I'm not too concerned when it comes to Savoie, because even though he's been the least impressive out of the 3, that's still a guy that once he gets comfortable, once he gets in his zone, just has so much puck skills, so much offensive creativity, that I think he'll be just fine. Now, at the beginning of the year, I totally expected a lot more from Savoie, but again, it's his first junior year, and for the most part, still, a lot of players don't perform all that great in their first junior year, so I'm going to give him a lot of patience in that respect, but in terms of him compared to a guy like Shane Wright or Brad Lambert, I'm not sure if he's comparable right now. But in terms of Matthew Savoie going forward, I think he'll have a great year next year. That's the guy that I assume will get a lot more ice time, a lot more responsibility at age 17, and a player that I think will rise to the occasion. Again, I don't think he's going to be in this spot being, oh, a disappointing player for too long. He is going to show his skills, and he is going to show his skills very soon. And I could see that being next year at the start of the season, him just exploding, because Matthew Savoie is still very, very good. But at the same time, even though I think Matthew Savoie will get better, I can't deny the facts that both Shane Wright and Brad Lambert have been miles ahead of him so far this season, and I think that will change a little bit. I think Matthew Savoie will definitely grow up a little bit next season in the WHL, get a lot smoother, a lot better, and I don't think he'll be outside of that tier for too long, but right now I'm not sure if he's on the level of a Shane Wright, not on the level of a Brad Lambert in my opinion. So in terms of him actually rivaling for that first overall pick, although that could have been the case a year ago, I think right now he's pretty much set in stone as my 3rd best choice in 2022. But the thing that makes this top 3 special is that I think throughout the next draft of 2021, we're just going to be constantly hearing about Brad Lambert, Shane Wright, what is Matthew Savoie up to? Because all 3 of those guys have so much hype behind them, but for the most part are totally deserved. I think Shane Wright is a guy that's going to dominate the OHL next year. Brad Lambert is a guy who I think will get set in the Liiga level and will be a consistent player there at a fantastic league. And I think Matthew Savoie will find his way, rebound quite nicely, and might even touch possibly upwards of a point per game in the WHL. That's what I'm thinking when it comes to all 3 of them, but honestly, whether Matthew Savoie has another down year or a guy like Shane Wright doesn't live up to expectation, I still have confidence in these 3 guys becoming fantastic NHL players, because the skill is absolutely insane when it comes to all 3. Although we've seen over the past couple of years, drafts 2 years earlier not ending up how we thought they would, when it comes to this top 3, I am very confident that these are going to be the top guys. And getting a top 3 draft pick in 2022, I'm going to be super jealous of that. that. And although Matthew Savoie played a decent chunk of wing throughout the WHL this year, that's still a top 3 core that I think can be center, center, and center. And if we're comparing drafts here back to the 2015 draft, where you have McDavid as a center, Jack Eichel as a center, Dylan Strome as a center, to me, I might just prefer 2022 because you have obviously Shane Wright, who's put up better numbers than McDavid. Then you have Jack Eichel versus Brad Lambert, which I think might be pretty close when it's all said and done. But then you have Matthew Savoie versus Dylan Strome. Who knows what happens there? I probably prefer Matthew Savoie in all honesty. And that just shows how good that top 3 is. And again, I've been talking about this top 3 this whole time. But the rest of the top 10 in 2022 is also freaking fantastic. So in terms of 2020, 2022, 2023, who's also looking pretty good by the way, those are a couple of drafts that will absolutely dominate in my opinion. But the top 3 in 2022 is what makes it very, very special. So if I had to rank these top 3 players, you got Shane Wright, you got Matthew Savoie, you got Brad Lambert. In my opinion, number 1 will be Shane Wright, number 2 will be Brad Lambert, and number 3 will be Matthew Savoie. That is subject to change because again, we are 2 years early with this draft. But these 3 guys, whether you get Matthew Savoie, whether you get a Shane Wright, are all bound, in my opinion, to be fantastic NHL talents. Guys that can dominate and be franchise-type centers. Although Matthew Savoie hasn't been up to that level, I am confident at least in Shane Wright and Brad Lambert progressing up to that level and being the stars that I think they can be. And no, not Dallas Stars, but I would take that. But that'll be it for today, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Of course, with this one, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell if you haven't already. Make sure you comment down below your thoughts on this 3-headed monster and who you prefer with Shane Wright, Brad Lambert, and Matthew Savoie, and how would you rank them. Of course, with this video, make sure you share this one, get the word out there about this absolutely fantastic top 3 in 2022, and make sure you click on this card right here to watch all my content on the 2020 NHL Draft Right One playlist. I don't know why I said white. My voice is done. My voice is dead. But I'll see you guys next video or stream. Goodbye.